In a nutshell, crime rate in the urban area have risen due to the poverty, employment, failure of leadership, or poor government governance and weakness in the law enforcement of all crime control bodies. This would cause fear to the people who live near the area and could be exposed to the criminal action. The citizens of the area could risk losing property, live in the poverty, or even worse, lose their life. This will also cause the safety and security in the city to be increased and safe. The government has to be on alert for any possible incident by implementing things such as CCTV and patrol unit to ensure the peace is kept. The government also needs to be serious about tackling the issue of crime can be reduced and always intensify anti-crime campaigns in the community. Other than that, the public should also report any strange occurrences in order to help the public authorities shut down the crime. Therefore, the crime rate in our area urban can be reduced over time.
Now, I will talk about the issues and the problem statement. But before that, did you all know why the crime rate in urban areas seem critical? No, right? To resolve the answer, the reason why the crime rate in the urban area in Malaysia seem in the critical scene is because of the factor increasing population and migration of the country. When there are high population number, fast changing in social context, and poor living condition, unpredictable crime occur. As analogical, the rate of crime rate index in state with such rapid population density as Selangor, Kuala Lumpur, Johor, despite a higher crime rate compared to the area that do have not population densities such as Perlis and Melaka. Other than that, we exposed to the gangsterism culture among teenagers, especially those who are living in the urban area. To prove the statement, therefore, there is the indicator that had been used, which is as known the crime rate index. Based on the crime rate index in 2019 in Malaysia crime index ratio per 100,000 people improved to 256.6 in 2019 from 273.8 in 2018. However, the crime rate for all states declined except for Pulau Pinang, Sarawak and Terengganu.
The greatest notable differential in crime incident occurs between urban and rural locations, with metropolitan environments seeing a broader spectrum of crime. This is evident due to the fact that there are more products accessible to steal and sell in the city. However, urban crime has a positive impact on a variety of factors. For example, urban security and safety can be enhanced. The government intends to strengthen the capabilities of CCTV in high traffic areas, increase the number of surveillance cameras in every area, particularly in resident park areas. Maybe it will hard to lower crime rate, but with more CCTV available, it will be simpler and easier to discover offenders in urban areas. Furthermore, security doors will be utilized increasingly in every household to increase home security. Security alarms also should be placed in every home and linked to the nearest police station so that the police can discover offenders more promptly. Moreover, human security will be broadened to encompass things like poverty alleviation, employment, education, and health. This necessitates a shift in mindset from national security to people-centered security. Rebuilding communities is an urgent need to foster peace and reconciliation, especially in war and post-conflict settings where institutions are typically frail and unstable. It is increasingly defined as preserving the fundamental core of all human existence in a way that increases human freedom and human pleasure. Additionally, residents will be more active in community safety effort and authorities will be more involved, such as increased police presence, especially in open communities, to build knowledge of crime prevention measures and special management that improve safety and surveillance. Furthermore, new housing complex should be planned with a minimum number of entry and departure points or choke points that can be monitored. The homes must also be visible to one another, which means that they must all face a common place, such as a field, from which each house has a flawless view of the others. Then, if there is concentration of people, the parts of the residential area should be through cafes, marketplace, and police station. In addition, police patrol in each area will increase. If this action is repeated on a regular basis, it will aid in the reduction of crime rates in many urban centers. Criminals will be find out more difficult to carry out their plans to perform criminal acts as a result of patrolling efforts. The urban patrol program will also improve cooperation with enforcing and increasing neighborhood security between urban communities, the National Anti-Drug Agency, police, RELA, Malaysian Civil Defence Force, which is APM, Voluntary Patrol Scheme, SRS, and the Department of National Unity and Integration, JPNIN. The function of SRS is also considered as having the potential to bring about beneficial improvements in attempts to unify inhabitants or residents in region and generate a sense of security among individuals who live in an area. As a result, it can indirectly foster a peaceful, good-willing, and responsible community as indicated in the One Malaysia idea.
Okay, for the suggestion, Malaysian government established a crime lab which brought together agencies from across the criminal justice system as well as from across the government, including the Ministry of Home Affairs, RELA, PDRM, Attorney General Chambers, Federal Courts, National Anti-Drug Agency, and so forth. And also, a unique lock known as U-Lock, a Japanese invention for motorbikes, will be adopted by the government. It has been worked on to encourage proportionate insurance premiums, eliminate illegal labor, improve the availability and use of mobile access devices, and make it interoperable with the PDRM and JPJ system. Okay, next, senior police officers participating in walkabouts in business, streets, and resident areas are encouraged and should be done on a regular basis. And if done on a regular basis, this can help to limit the amount of criminal charges that may arise. So we can observe that crime occurs everywhere nowadays. Thus, crime may be decreased by having the police conduct frequent observation. Follow-up from the public on this endeavour is critical, and a means to assess the program's efficiency must be accessible. And the next suggestion is by involve criminal justice and local law enforcement. So the agencies and people who are in charge of enforcing law, preserving public order, and regulating public safety are known as law enforcement. Also, the investigation, apprehension, and custody of those accused of criminal activities are among law enforcement's key responsibilities. The primary task of the police should be to minimize the crime rate via patrolling. So the frequency of patrol should be increased and police officers should be visible to the public to the degree possible. And these activities must be carried out in a location where tourists and people are most concentrated.
The government planned to increase police omnipresence and improve CCTV facilities in high crime areas. Police omnipresence essentially means that the police are visible all at the same moment. Crime has decreased as a result of police omnipresence. The Unit Ronda Amper Motorcycle (URB), Mobile Patrol Vehicle (MPV), and Rising Patrolling Program enhance police patrol and omnipresence. CCTV camera can be utilized to help in crime prevention, criminal detection, crowd management, and public order issue. So, By improving CCTV, the crime in urban area can be reduced. Other than that, the most crucial is that it compromises an evaluation and education. To address the connection between gang and organized crime group, a comprehensive study of the social context must be conducted. The government must identify the societal problems that are linked to crime and determine how to remedy them. The influence of education on crime is based on the notion that crime can most commonly be reduced to increase preventing crime, and that education is the most efficient way of preventing crime. It is generally understood that education plays an important role in preventing people from engaging in criminal conduct. In other words, the better educated a young person is, the less likely they are to be making a criminal offense.
In a nutshell, crime rate in the urban area have risen due to the poverty, employment, failure of leadership, or poor governance and weakness in the law enforcement of all crime control bodies. This would cause fear to the people who live near the area and could be exposed to the criminal action. The citizens of the area could risk losing property, live in the poverty, or even worse, lose their life. This will also cause the safety and security in the city to be increased and safe. The government has to be on alert for any possible incident by implementing things such as CCTV and patrol unit to ensure the peace is kept. The government also needs to be serious about tackling the issue of crime can be reduced and always intensify anti-crime campaigns in the community. Other than that, the public should also report any strange occurrences in order to help the public authorities shut down the crime. Therefore, the crime rate in our area urban can be reduced over time.